Hello everyone, welcome to yet another live Q&A. I think we are live now, and do let me know about the audio if it is all good. And if you have already joined, feel free to ask your questions in the chat. I will take the questions one by one. I don't have my monitor with me to test the audio, so please do let me know if the audio is all right. I see a few people joining in. We will give another couple of minutes. Audio seems fine. There's a bit of lag, that's all. Yeah, thank you so much for letting me know. Yes, there's always this lag. I'm not sure if it has something to do with the internet speed or something else, but there seems to be this lag. We'll wait for 3 more minutes, let's say. Yeah, and if we don't have any more questions, then we will call it a day. In the meantime, if we get some questions, I will take those questions one by one. Have you moved the camera at or not complaining though? Yeah, I have changed the port on my laptop, so usually I used to keep it on this side, but now I'm to this side, and the cable is a little small, so I had to put it this side. So just trying something. Probably next week I will move it back to the original position, but yeah, the camera slightly. Is machine vision on ML a good combo? I'm not too sure about machine vision, what it actually is, so I can quickly do a Google search just to see what it is. It says machine vision is a technology that enables machines to see and interpret visuals and visual information, much like humans. So it's basically like computer vision. That's what I think of it as. And while for computer vision applications and use cases, deep learning is probably more preferred, and deep learning is nothing but a subset of machine learning. So I would say, yeah, why not? I have actually trained a machine learning model for computer vision use cases, and it took quite a long time to train, and then the performance was slightly poor when compared to the deep learning model or CNN based architecture. So I would say for machine vision or computer vision, deep learning should be the preferred option. But if you have less data set and if you have time to process it properly, and then you're willing to spend some time to train your model and do hyperparameter tuning and things like that, then I think, yeah, it will work out just fine. If I'm missing something here with machine vision, please do let me know. And if it is significantly different than computer vision, then please do let me know in the chat. For those of you who have joined just now, welcome to yet another live Q&A. As always, please let me know your questions in the chat. I will take those questions one by one. And if you have anything else to discuss about, feel free to put it in the chat. We can also have a discussion, open discussion on any topic that you might be interested in. So yeah, the chat is open. We will be live for 1 hour. So yeah, in this 1 hour time, I can answer your questions. And I come here live on YouTube every Saturday, 12 p.m. UK time. Yeah. Are there any free Gen AI certification that you would suggest to have? Not necessarily, because certifications are all fine and good probably, but if you have some knowledge and if you have worked on some live projects and if you are able to host them, and these days it's quite easy to host your Gen AI based applications built in Gradio or even Streamlit, and you can host them quite easily on Hugging Face. So if you are able to do those things and add some more features to it, I think you'll be good if you add those projects in your portfolio. So you don't necessarily need a certification, but if you want to learn the different concepts in Gen AI, then I may have to look into some of the courses. I would suggest, if you are not looking for a specific platform, and if you are open to learn more about Azure, you can maybe check out Microsoft Reactor channel on YouTube. They have quite a lot of tutorials, quite a lot of sessions, and they're actually quite helpful. So when I wanted to learn a bit about what all services are available on Azure related to Gen AI, I watched some of the videos there, and they were really helpful. Maybe check out Microsoft's page. I don't exactly remember their GitHub repository, but I think they do have a GitHub repository as well, where you can take the code base and you can make some changes and try to play around things just to learn how things work. So those are some of the resources that you can use to learn more about Gen AI. One thing you do need to keep in mind is that when you create an Azure account, you get like $200 free credit for 28 days. So you can use that, but after that you will have to pay some money, and when you will create account, you will have to enter your card details. So do keep that in mind. So if you end up using all the credit, $200, then they may start charging you, but the cost is not too much. So sometimes I use some Gen AI capabilities like ChatGPT hosted within Azure and things like that, and it doesn't really cost that much. I have to train a custom edge device model for pose estimation and classification ASAP. Right. I would suggest for edge detection, I think CNN based models are quite good. So, and that would be very quick as well. Some out of the box architectures like I'm forgetting Inception v3 or VNet, those kind of things, I think they are really good. So you don't really have to do too much uh, tweaking in that whole architecture. You can just take it. You may have to structure your data in certain way, and if you're using TensorFlow, I think it might be there in PyTorch as well, but if you're using TensorFlow, then it also has this pre-processing module which you can use to pre-process your images, so that it pre-processes the images very specific to those architectures. So if you are short on time and if you want to prototype something really quickly, deep learning models like CNN based architectures, they would be really helpful. Do you also have any video on GenAI projects? I think so. The reason why I need to think is because I did record, but I'm not sure if I have already posted the video on YouTube. There are quite a lot of videos that I have not posted, so I need to probably check. So I'm just going to my page and checking if the videos are available. I have like couple of videos like audio transcription and summarization using ChatGPT and some Google services. So that is there, and then I also converted it into a Streamlit app so that it has a nice UI. So I do have those projects on my channel, and then I have like very fun project like LLM using ChatGPT and pitching it against Stockfish to play chess game. So this is a bit of fun project, but you will still learn quite a lot of things. So I would say, yeah, those are the two projects. I still have few other projects in pipeline which I still need to record and post, but I do have a couple of projects there. For doing LLM projects, do we necessarily need GPU access, or they can be done on a CPU laptop? It can be easily done on a CPU laptop, is because you are not actually training your model. You will need GPUs when you will be training your own large language model or any model for that matter. So if you're just using APIs and if you're just calling large language models, then you don't really need a GPU. But if you are hosting or if you're trying to run that large language model locally on your system, then you may need a pretty strong CPU and GPU, because all the processing will happen locally on your system. So it depends if you are running it locally or not. What about MediaPipe? I'm not too sure about it. I think I'm hearing MediaPipe for the first time. So let me quickly do a Google search if it is understandable for me. MediaPipe is a versatile open source framework from Google for building cross-platform machine learning pipelines, particularly for live and streaming media. Yeah, I think it can be a interesting one, because seems like it is designed for this specific use case which you're trying to solve. So I have personally not tried this, or I have not worked on this kind of project in the past, so I won't be able to say whether it will be better than other methods or other architectures or uh, other scenarios. But if it is designed for this specific thing, then I would say it will definitely do a better job than creating your own custom architecture. They do say that it's machine learning, but I would assume that would use um, deep learning at the back end. The reason I'm saying is because deep learning is basically a subset of machine learning. I may have to read a little bit more about this. I'm not aware of it, but I would say, yeah, it will probably work. It will work a lot better. I used YOLO for object detection and trained a Google Colab for training on custom data for medical application, and then ran it on my 2 GB NVIDIA GPU for inference. Yeah, that's good. Google Colab is actually a very good platform. I always suggest people to use Google Colab to start with at least, but if they feel like the resources are not enough, then they can always choose to go for Google Colab Pro or other subscription based. But to start with, I think Google Colab is really good, and if it doesn't cost anything, if you're not taking Google Colab Pro, then I would say it's a good thing. Yeah, so today I learned something new, like media pipe. So would be an interesting read for me. I really like learning about these things, and I wouldn't have come across this because right now I'm not working on any of these kind of use cases. So I made a note of media pipe, so I will give it a go. I will read about it and see what it actually does, and how it has been created and what kind of architecture it follows. Hi Himanshu, I'm new to your channel. What do you do? So my channel is mostly around data science stuff, and I have like basically three different type of content. The first one is uh, projects, so anything related to data science project. The next one is about general data science related questions, like what kind of job, what things to learn, and what could be the next big thing, things like that. And the last one is about getting into data science and universities, courses, things like that. So suggesting or reviewing those kind of things. So yeah, those are the three main type of content that I make on my channel. Hi Atharv, can you tell me a clear path for an MS in AI plus MBA? So according to settle abroad, which is better, USA or UK? If you want to settle, I would say UK is probably better as compared to US, because in US you may just work all your life on visas, and you may not even get a green card there. It's very difficult, and that's what I've heard from some of my friends uh, who are currently studying in US. In the UK, it is relatively easy when compared to US. I won't say it's very easy, but it is relatively easy. So if you are coming to the UK, you will do your 1 year masters if you're not taking placement here. After that, you will get 2 years of post-study work visa. Once you have completed your 2 years of post-study work visa, you will be able to get a skilled worker visa. And it's not like you have to take post-study work visa. If you are able to get a skilled worker visa um, right after your course, then you will have to be on skilled worker visa for 5 years, and after that you will be able to apply for ILR or indefinite remain to leave, something like that. And after getting your ILR, I think you need to spend 1 more year, I think, to probably get a citizenship or British passport, something like that. I'm not too sure about it. I have not done a lot of research. This is something which I have just heard or uh, listened in a couple of videos. So all in all, I think it takes 8 years in the worst case scenario to get ILR, and probably 9 to 10 years to get your British passport. In US, again, it can take up to 10 years, but it is not certain that after 10 years you will be able to get the green card. I am a CS final year student in BTech. Want some advice regarding placements as I'm year 3 college. I am a backend guy. Now learned TSA till now. Right. So you are a final year student. I was also from a tier 3 college, so it's not like done my bachelor's from some really premier university or something like that. What I would suggest is when you are in your college, most often than not, whatever the professors or the teachers will teach is going to be very theoretical, and it's very important to implement those things and have a practical knowledge when you are actually applying for jobs. And that's what I used to do ever since I got into computer science course. I wasn't really sure what programming is, and it used to baffle me, some of the concepts. It was very tricky for me. I didn't really understand programming that well. But then, of course, I knew that I have taken computer science, so I need to do something about it. So I started reading from different books, and then I started solving problems on lead code. And then I started working on project very early on, probably in my second year or early third year, I think, something like that, probably second year. So yeah, I started solving problems, and then I started working on projects. So I learned a lot of practical things, and well beyond what was there in the books. That is something which is very important, to have projects and uh, have practical knowledge, those kind of things. So if you are able to do those things, I think you are good, and you should be okay when you go to the job market. And one other thing is, of course, this programming and data structures and algorithm. Those things are very important, along with DBMS. Those are probably the so programming, data structures and algorithm, and DBMS. I think those are the three subjects or modules which are very important, that you should know properly for any interview when you're just starting out. Can you talk in Hindi, since most of us understand Ji? I can talk in Hindi, yeah, but sometimes we do get viewers who usually don't understand, and I think English is something which everyone understands. So I will just keep it in English, but in case you want it in Hindi, I mean, if the questions are in Hindi, I usually answer them in Hindi. So yeah, I tried learning HTML, CSS. I can't structure things and keep formatting things, though I just started yesterday. Yeah, if you just started yesterday, it will take some time, and when I was learning HTML and CSS, it was difficult for me as well to keep things structured and dividing the whole page into rows and columns. It was a bit tricky, but eventually I was able to learn those things. It's important to understand how tags work, and then you also get like alignments and stuff, so need to understand what those things work. And then you have like positions, like relative position, fixed position, those kind of things. So they help a lot when you start understanding what those things actually mean. So yeah, you just started yesterday, give it some time, you will understand it properly. भाई मेरी इंटर्नशिप नहीं लग पा रही है, कुछ रेफरल दे दो भाई कोई फॉर बिजनेस एनालिस्ट रोल। या मुझे अभी तो कोई बिजनेस एनालिस्ट रोल की पोजीशन पता नहीं है, और मेरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में तो कोई बिजनेस एनालिस्ट वाली रोल है नहीं, आई गेस। देख सकता हूँ वैसे करियर पेज पे अगर कुछ है तो। वैसे भी हायरिंग फ्रीज चल रही है कंपनी में काम कर रहा हूँ अभी, तो पता नहीं। बट अगर आप लिंक्डइन पे कांटेक्ट करो, और अगर कुछ आता है तो मैं वहाँ पे आपको भेज दूँगा। तो या आई होप दैट विल हेल्प। So what about the internship and all in the UK, and how did you get yours? What about your passport, visa status? So there are quite a lot of questions there. I will start talking about first internships and jobs in the UK. So as with any other country these days, the job market is quite rough. Competition is quite a lot. A lot of people who come here for masters, they come from all the backgrounds. They could be freshers, they could also be experienced people. So it is relatively easy for people who have some experience, but having said that, it's not like it's always the experienced people who get the job. Freshers also get the job, so there are opportunities for everyone. But again, the competition is quite high and the number of jobs are reducing every other day. How did I find my internship? So when I was in my masters, I did my masters from Newcastle University, and there are quite a lot of companies, they work with Newcastle University and they do a lot of research work. And I used to attend these meetups, data science meetups. And once there was one of these companies director, he came and he talked about what kind of work he and his team is doing, and he just left his card there. So I picked that card, I contacted him, I told him that I have similar kind of interests, I would like to work with you guys. And then he invited me to his office, and then we had a long conversation about what kind of things he is doing, what I have learned, what I was doing, and how our interests are mutual and things like that. And then I eventually got that internship. As for job, I had like 3 offers. Well, 2 offers by the time I finished my masters. And then the first one was graduate role, the second one was data scientist role. So I decided to go for the data scientist role in a startup. But after like 3 or so months, I think, yeah, so I got laid off because the startup couldn't get funding and all those kind of things. Then I started finding for another job, and I think it took 1.5 months, I think, to find the role which I'm currently working in. So yeah, that's how I found my job, and I applied on LinkedIn. There are quite a lot of other platforms as well, you can always apply, but I think LinkedIn is probably the best place. All the jobs that you find on any other websites, you will be able to find it on LinkedIn as well. So that was that. And I've been in the UK for 3 to 4 years now. I think I came in 2021. Yeah, so 3 years, 3+ years. And currently I'm on skilled worker visa, so that's my current visa status. बाय C++ का लॉजिक नहीं बन रहा. आई टोटली अंडरस्टैंड. मैंने भी जब C++ पहली बार सीखा था तो काफ़ी ट्रिकी था, बिकॉज उससे पहले मुझे प्रोग्रामिंग आती नहीं थी. बट पहला प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज जो मैंने सीखा इट वाज C. और 6 महीने में जितना सीख सकता था उतना सीखा C. बट वही ऐसा नहीं था कि बहुत ही कॉन्फिडेंट था. और फिर नेक्स्ट सेमेस्टर में हाँ आई थिंक नेक्स्ट सेमेस्टर में ही C++ आया था. तो मुझे भी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड लगता था, बट देन मैंने प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना शुरू किया लीड कोड पे जाकर. और ये काफ़ी सारे वेबसाइट्स हैं, जैसे कि हैकर अर्थ हो गया, हैकर रैंक हो गया, कोड शेफ हो गया. तो उन वेबसाइट्स पे जाके मैं प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करता था. और फिर C++ मतलब समझ में आने लगी थी तब. तो वही है कि द मोर प्रॉब्लम्स यू सॉल्व ऑन लीड कोड द बेटर यू विल गेट. नॉट जस्ट लीड कोड, कोई भी वेबसाइट पे कर सकते हो आप, जो भी आपका फेवरेट वेबसाइट हो. तो आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट अबाउट प्रैक्टिस, आई थिंक सो. उसके अलावा मैंने बुक थी पद्मा रेड्डी नाम की, आई थिंक. काफ़ी लोग बोलते हैं कि it's a local author book, it's not good and whatnot. But as a beginner who is not able to understand the programming from a lot of these international authors, I would suggest Padma Reddy is a good book if you are able to get your hands on to that book, because I did try looking at that book on Amazon and stuff, but मुझे मिला नहीं वो. तो yeah, I would suggest maybe try finding that book if you are able to find it and give it a go. Might clear a lot of your concepts. But eventually, yeah, I think the main thing is practice. If you are able to write at least one program or solve one problem on lead code, I think you'll be good. And within like 2 to 3 months, you will see the difference and you will be able to build the logic. So tell me the scenario of MS in AI, and when is the internship time in UK, and when is the work visa, or what is skilled worker visa. So if you're asking right time to apply for internship, I think it is as soon as you start your course, is because, well, there is a caveat there. So if you know data science concepts, if you already know a lot of concepts that you think is good enough to get an internship, you can start applying from the day one. But if you think you still need to learn quite a lot of things and you still are not very confident about things you already know about data science or AI for that matter, I would say maybe cover all the modules in first semester, and then once you finish your first semester, that is probably the right time to start applying for internship. And by the time you will finish your first semester, you would have worked on quite a lot of projects as well. and you can use those projects in your portfolio, so you will have a good portfolio by the time you finish your first semester. So that should be the right time to start applying for internships. That's when I applied, and yeah, I started my internship right after first semester. And when is the work visa, or what is skilled worker visa? Hi Aryan, I will reply to your message. I'm just going through all the messages one by one, so I will get to your point as well. So yeah, when is the work visa, or what is skilled worker visa? The post-study work visa is just a standard visa which you get once you finish your uh, masters. So you don't need to have a job offer once you finish your masters, and even if you don't have a job offer, you can still get post-study work visa, and that is going to be valid for 2 years. But after that, if you still want to stay in the UK, you need to have skilled worker visa or any other kind of visa. I'm not really expert in these visa consultancy and all those kind of things, so I don't know what other visas are there. I do know about global talent visa and things like that. So if you are eligible for that particular visa, you can apply for that. But the most common one is skilled worker visa. So to get that, you need to have a obviously full-time job, and your company should be willing to sponsor your visa. And obviously, to sponsor your visa, the company needs to be approved to sponsor a visa. So that's essentially the difference between post-study work visa and skilled worker visa. If you still have any doubt on these kind of visas, please be very specific. What uh, what you don't understand about this visa? If I know, I'll be more than happy to answer your question. How much time would you recommend on each project? I find data science projects very time and brain intensive. I start but find it difficult to complete. Any advice on that? That's a good question. Sometimes, not sometimes, most often than not, data science projects do take time because it's a lot about exploration. If you are building a software, you have requirements, you know exactly in which direction you want to go. But for data science, it's a little bit tricky. It's a lot about exploration. Sometimes things do work out, sometimes they don't. So yeah, it's totally understandable. How much time you should spend on a project, it is definitely going to vary from project to project. But what I would suggest is, when you pick a project and when you start working on it, whatever concepts that are being used in that particular project, make sure you understand them very well. So for example, you wanted to work on, let's say, energy prediction project. Yeah, it is going to be your regression problem. So you will collect data, you will process the data, you will do some statistical analysis, you will do some correlation test, things like that, and then you will move on to your machine learning part, and then you will try different uh, regression models. So whichever models you try, make sure that you understand those models properly, how they work, what are their limitations, what are their pros, and why are you using those models, and why you didn't try other models. So that is going to be something which you need to know. Once you have answered all those questions, and also in data processing side of things, whatever concepts you use there, why did you do a specific test, those kind of things, you need to know the answer of those uh, questions. You should not just blindly find a snippet of a code online and just put it in your code, and you did a specific test, you feel like, yeah, it is working fine, then I'm good. No, that's not good enough. You need to understand why you are doing those kind of things. At the end of the day, if the results are not good, so for this regression, if your mean absolute error is bad or r square is bad, it's fine. It need not be the best model out there. It is still okay that the model was not good, but that is something which you can say that, okay, fine, I have trained my model, I have tried these many things, but I have hit it probably dead end, and I don't know exactly how to improve this model. Then that's probably the point where you can say that, okay, this is the best that can be done for this specific project, and probably this is, and I have also answered all the questions, I have learned everything, I know ins and outs of this particular project, so that could be a right time to probably move on to the next project. So that's what I would suggest. And one other thing is, if you're downloading data from, let's say, Kaggle or any platform where people do talk about the kind of projects that they have done, you should also go and check the community page. You should also go and check the code section, where people usually post their notebooks and stuff. So that way you can go through what kind of process they have applied, and if you feel like their results are a lot better than yours, try to replicate those things. And if it is working good for you as well, then try to understand what are the different steps, and what are the different algorithms that they have what they have used. So you can always uh, do those kind of things, and I think you'll be good. So yeah, those are some of the suggestions that I could give, and hopefully that will help you. Thanks, Maximus. Jokers are everywhere. um I'm decent in DSA and AIML. That is good, but still not getting internship opportunity. Please tell me any way to land a good internship. Yeah, I would say try to attend those uh, meetups, because meetups are very helpful. I would say, because even I used to think like, what's gonna happen if I go to meetups, but then I was like, why not give it a go? And when I tried going to those meetups, I actually found a lot of useful resources, and I met a lot of people, and that was very helpful. And then I also felt like it is actually helpful, and I built a lot of connections there. So I would suggest joining meetups and going to those meetups, meeting new people, try to communicate with them, try to tell them what you do and what are your interests, what kind of projects you have worked on. Maybe you will find some good contact there, and they might suggest you some positions or some referrals, those kind of things. So that is something which is very important. Second is obviously applying on LinkedIn and stuff, which is very common. Everyone does that, and you should do that as well. The next one is obviously an interesting one, like attending um, hackathons and participating in those hackathons. Try to uh, and it need not be a physical hackathon, like you need to go to a venue and then participate in those hackathons. There are a lot of challenges on Kaggle as well, so you can always participate in those, and those are also actually quite helpful. And probably the last thing is build a good portfolio and profile, such as LinkedIn, GitHub, and even Kaggle. Probably I did not really focus too much on Kaggle, but hey, you can do that as well. Those are the few things that you could do, and hopefully that will improve your chances of getting an internship. And I think there is a quite a lot of lag in um, the chat as well as um, in the stream. So when you post your questions, I probably don't see those questions immediately after you post. So it takes some time for the chat to come to me, and then when I answer your question, it takes some time to reach to you. So please be patient. I will answer all the questions that are there in the chat. With big companies, I am facing that many of their roles are dummy advertised and actually end up in internal hiring. Even referrals didn't work. Smaller ones stop at sponsorship. How to smartly tackle? It's a very big challenge, and we did talk about this in a couple of previous live Q&As as well, that a lot of job roles which people or the companies post, they may not be the real jobs. So and it's very difficult to tell whether the job role is real or not, and whether they're going to hire people internally. It's very difficult, and it's something which is not there in our hand, and that's why I suggested it's important to apply to as many jobs as possible and have something in your hand. As for smaller companies, yes, they may not sponsor, but I think the first task is to be able to get the job offer, and maybe after working there for a couple of years, you can switch to some other company which is more open to providing a sponsorship. So I would say apply to all the jobs that are there in the market without thinking too much about whether it's a smaller company or whether it is on approved list or not. Just apply to those roles. In the worst case scenario, you will gain some experience, and that experience will help you in some other role, maybe in your home country or in somewhere else. In best case scenario, maybe after working there for a year or two, they decide to get to the approved list and willing to sponsor your visa, or maybe you will be able to find something just in within those 2 years of post-study work visa. So yeah, the target is to just find your first role and have your first offer ready as soon as you finish your masters. But if you already finished, then the goal is to get the job as soon as possible. Bro, I have 3 years of work experience in AI, and I want to DA or TA/RA. I don't know if it's data analysis, and rest I don't know exactly what those things are. Jobs. So can you please elaborate about that? I would say please elaborate your question. So during MS, I am on student visa, correct? After MS, 2 years of visa, like I can do internship and find a job, correct? And as I find a job, I will I will be moved on to skilled visa. Is that the way? Yes, that's correct. And when you find a job, you don't automatically move to skilled worker visa. Your company needs to be on approved list, so they may or may not provide you sponsorship. That's the first thing. So it is probably a mutual agreement between you and the company that yes, they are willing to sponsor your visa and you are happy to work with that company for some number of years. So yeah, I think you understood the point quite clearly. Until when is the skilled worker like time span, and then how is the journey? Right, so your skilled worker visa can vary from 1 year to 5 years, and it totally depends on the company what duration they are willing to give you sponsorship for. So it could be 1 year, it could be 2 year, it could be 3 years, it could be 5 years. It totally depends on the company. But for PR, you need to be on skilled worker visa for 5 years. I think companies can't provide you skilled worker visa for more than 5 years, because after that you can anyways apply for PR. So why do you need a skilled worker visa? So yeah, you need to be on skilled worker visa for 5 years, and companies can provide you up to 5. And again, I'm not a professional advisor in this particular area, so even I myself is exploring those things right now because I'm on skilled worker visa and I still have a long way to go. I've been on skilled worker visa for 1.5 years or something like that. So I still have a long way to go. So I'm not really doing a lot of research on this, how these things work. And I'm not even thinking too much about those things right now. So yeah, there's still a long way to go for me. How much is personal branding needed for a job in the UK? Yes, online presence is important. Like I said, having a good LinkedIn profile, having a good GitHub profile definitely helps. It's actually quite important to have those things because from your resume, the hiring manager can only know so much. And if your resume stands out and they really like your um, projects and stuff, then they may want to know a little bit more about you. Then they may take a look at your LinkedIn profile and then your GitHub profile. And if those things are also very well maintained, you have really nicely structured projects there, then it gives them a very good confidence that yeah, this person is very presentable as well, and that may lead to a call, so, or an interview. So I would suggest yes, having um, personal branding is very important. If I'm targeting two types of roles with some tech stack overlap, branding to one role can narrow my chances for others. Role, credit risk analysis, and data scientist ML. What to do then? Um, yes, they do have some overlap in terms of skills, but I do understand they might have some other requirements as well. So yeah, you can create two CVs, one very specific to uh, the to credit risk analysis, and the other one is for data science. And whenever you're applying, you can just use your two different CVs um, for those two roles. I think that would be the simplest thing to do, because if you put everything in one CV, then maybe your data science projects will not let the hiring managers see the things or put emphasis on the credit risk side of things, and vice versa. So yeah, maybe have two CVs for different roles and then use those CVs to apply to as many roles as possible. Can you review my CV, and if you can give me referral? Yes, I do provide resume review services via um, YouTube membership. So there is a separate tier or very specific tier for resume review. So if you go to that and if you choose to join channel membership, then I do uh, resume review. And as for referral, if there are any openings, I'll be more than happy to refer you. I'm willing to gain experience in jobs without sponsorship, but it's them who asks that question and then disappear. I completely agree. Getting a job. Yeah, I have faced the same thing, and it's the sad reality. Can't really do much about it. They ask the question, you tell them the truth. Now they can choose whether to reach out to you again or not. So Yeah, it is difficult. Teaching assistant, research assistant jobs, yes, there are quite a lot of these type of jobs available. So yes, when you are in your university, be in contact with your professor, be in contact with I'm just getting some warning. So I think the bitrate has gone down, so not sure if the stream is still okay. If you see any issues, please do let me know in the chat. But to me it is showing everything okay, but I'm getting a warning that the bitrate has fallen. Yeah, so yeah, those jobs are still there: research assistant and teaching assistant. Be in contact with your professors and PhD students. They may let you know if there are anything available, so you should be able to get those jobs. My relative works in the UK for BBC, deals with cloud computing. Yeah, that's good. If you are probably, if you choose to, let's say, work in similar kind of area, or even if you don't want to work in similar kind of area, it's better to ask your relative to get some referral, because referrals do work. But again, it is very tricky sometimes. If companies decide to do internal hiring, then referrals may work that way. But yeah, asking for referrals is not gonna hurt. What's your opinion on easy apply on LinkedIn? They are quick to apply, but do they do work. I did receive a couple of calls when I was applying for job, and I've never missed single easy apply, because it's the easiest way to apply for a job. And I always make sure that those easy apply rules I always apply. A lot of people on YouTube trying being a guru of LinkedIn and stuff, saying that easy apply is not good and blah blah blah. It's fine, it didn't work for them, that's okay, but it did work out for me. And I always make sure that for those easy apply jobs I do apply, but do make sure that, I mean, do know that the competition is going to be very high for those easy apply roles, because it's easy to apply, so a lot of people will apply. One other thing that you can do is, if you have seen the company's name, go on to the company's career page, try to find a job, and then apply there. It's as simple as that. So yeah, you can try both, but most often than not, I think some of the easy applies that we get, I think they're posted by the hiring agencies and not by the exact company. So if you search for the company's name which has posted that particular job, it might be just the hiring agency. So that is something you need to keep in mind. But I would say, yeah, just apply using easy apply button. And if it's a German company, you can always apply to the job on their career page. Branding into rules. I do have 2 CVs, but for LinkedIn or portfolio, how to do branding for only one role? GitHub is probably easy, because you can have different projects in a proper repository format, and I think you can pin 6 repositories on your homepage on GitHub. So you can have 3 projects for data science and 3 projects for credit risk analysis, and you can quite clearly mention that data science colon the project name, or credit risk analysis colon the specific project name, something like that. It will be very easy for someone to understand what these repositories actually mean and which one they should look at. For LinkedIn, it's basically your information, your experience, your education. There you are not going to share your projects and stuff. you will be adding some description about your profile. So you play with the words and try to describe your profile in such a way that it suits um, both type of roles. So that way you will be able to make a mix of both. So it's not like you have to have a portfolio or a profile or a branding for a specific type of um, role, but you can have a mix of both on LinkedIn. And how many positions are there? I mean, that's a very difficult question to answer because I have not really looked into the numbers, so won't be able to comment on that. So you got your degree locally and then applied for UK visa. I did my bachelor's from India and then I did my master's in the UK, and then after that I um, I found a job in the UK. So that's how I went on about my career. If you found this live Q&A helpful, please do give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And we have reached the 1 hour mark. I think I have answered all the questions. It was a really good discussion, and I will see you guys next week. And yeah, so next Saturday 12 p.m. UK time. Have a good weekend, everyone, and happy learning. Bye.